First thing is first, we're going to choose a topic, so we're going to choose food. You guys can choose whatever food you like. So I'm going to make mine bacon. I'm sorry, I've stolen bacon. But so we're going to create a website on bacon. So the first thing you'll do is a website is literally just a location on a server that would contain a whole bunch of HTML files that would link to each other and whatnot. So you would first create a folder called bacon. You would then create another folder called images. And this would contain any images for your website. So I'm not going to spend too much time looking for images. I'm just going to quickly, we're going to leave that blank for now. We're not going to add any images right yet. The next step that you've got, you guys should all have your view options, and you should make sure that it's set to the hide extensions for known file types must be okay, I'm recording. Must be unticked, so you can see what file type every single file you create is. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to create a text file called index. Sorry, I failed. Index.html, and then we're going to design our template there, then copy them across to create other pages. And we're also going to create a text document called style.css. So we've got two different items there. We've got a cascading style sheet which will set out the style for all our sub-pages and our actual web page over there. You guys should do that. I'm going to pause the video until you guys let me know that you've done that. Okay, so now that we've created the base structure, all we're going to do is we're going to open up NetBeans, and the easiest way to open it is just literally to drag it across through to NetBeans into the area where you're working with, and then you'll see your index and your style sheet have been opened here. So you drag and drop. Now, as far as your HTML is concerned, remember in your guys' exams and also in real life, you'll always have something to reference to. So in your guys' case, general resources, notes, HTML, you'll see a section on here, CSS and HTML, tag list, that kind of stuff. So first of all, if you look at HTML in a nutshell, you'll see it'll go through the basic structure of what a website needs. So you need the HTML, the head, the title, the body, and this is the base structure. So we're going to set up the base structure now. Just a reminder now, in the head as well, you also need to link to your cascading style sheet. So I'm just going to do all of it in once. So we'll link to our cascading style sheet and get the structure up to just start off with our page. So you'll see here, it'll show you this is how you link to your style sheet. So I'm just going to copy this text across. I suggest you go there. You can type it out, but I'm lazy and stuff. So I'm just going to go HTML. Now, sometimes it'll come up automatically with the close. It's a good idea to do that. So that's why I don't. I know Nick was saying that he codes like this, and then he goes and he'll put HTML. Then often that won't give you the other area. A shortcut to get that to show you what you want is you just go Control Spacebar. It'll also give you ulterior options. Control Spacebar is hugely your friend. When you get to Java, you'll use Control Spacebar all the time. So the next thing you've got is your head, and remember in your head you need your title, which will be the title of your page. So this will be bacon is good, really, or whatever your food topic is for this moment. And then you would paste in the link. I just copied and pasted it. You can just type it out. It's nothing too fancy. And you'll notice here that it's got a capital S there. You must use a small s, especially if your website's going to be running on a Linux server. It will not have any idea what the capital S. It would not link that to small s here. So you need to make sure that's the exact same name as that. In the test, I would mark you down on that because you want to design it so it would work no matter what. Okay, so now the next item is you're actually working with the body, which is going to have the actual contents of your website. So far, this is our website setup. We've got our head, we've got our body, we've set up the structure of our website. That is the second step of HTML coding. I'm going to pause the video, make sure everyone's up to this point, and then we'll continue. Alright, so basically what we've got here is you've got your head and your body. Now we need to start working with the body, and the first thing you need is you need a plan. You can't just more start coding, you need to think first. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to open up Excel, and we're going to do a rough design of how we want this to look. So basically, my idea is I want a big picture of bacon over here. So I'm going to merge this over here. I'm going to have the heading bacon over here, and then I'm going to have bacon, some recipes, and let's say info. Okay, let's just go then health info. How do you spell recipes? Recipe? Lovely, you gotta love, there we go. Got it. Because that must be right. Okay, anyway, now, I'm going to then have 2 pictures down the side in this central area merged across here. So this is the layout I want. It's pretty silly, but whatever. Now, so you guys must go open up Excel and just design how you want yours laid out, or how you want yours set up, your structure. Okay, I'm just going to pause the video, and then you guys can come up with your structure, then I'll show you how to work with that. Okay, so now that we've got our structure there on our Excel file, one of the biggest thing that you need to understand in your Excel spreadsheet is how many rows and columns you're working with. So, for example, in this case with me, I'm working with 4 columns, and I'm working with 4 rows, I think. So you know that every single row needs to cross 4 cells. So it's pretty much like this, and you'll see that my first cell goes over 2 rows, my second cell goes over 3 columns. So you just need to bear this in mind when you're coding now. So if we take a look into our code, we are setting up a table structure. What I suggest you do is you're going to get rid of this code later, but just so you can see what you're doing, is just set a border of 2, a width of 100%, and later you'll remove this and it'll be part of your cascading style sheet. But right now we just need it so we can actually see what we're doing is working. Ooh, fail. Okay, so then we've got our table. Okay, now after we've got our table, it will give you a red underline, and the reason why is Java doesn't like us coding this stuff in here. It says this should be in the cascading style sheet. You shouldn't be doing this in here. So that's why it's underlining it red, and as I say, we will get rid of that later. So first of all, we know that we're going to have 4 rows, or however many rows your design came up with. So in my case, I have 4 rows. So if in your case you have 6 rows, you'll create 6 rows, so forth. So the first thing I'm going to do is I've create the number of rows I need. So I'm just going to make a comment. To make a comment in HTML, I've got to remember this now. It's full open curly brackets, open crocodile mouth thingy, exclamation mark dash dash. You can then write a comment. So this is row 1 dash dash dash. So you can make comments like this as well if you want in your HTML. It just helps for future reference. In my case, I'm just doing it so you guys can see. It might be a bit more helpful in this tutorial. Okay, so in row 1, every single row must have 4 columns. So every single row must have the number of columns that it should have. So now in this case, if we take a look at our first row, first column goes over 2 rows. So basically, we go TD. Now this is our first column, and we close it. So basically I'm just going to paste, and I'm going to create 4. Now the first cell in there, we want to actually span over 2 columns. So we say there, row span is equal to 2. And what that's done is it's the same as highlighting 2 cells over a row in Excel and going merge. So we're literally merging those 2 columns. And our second cell in our first row actually has a col span. It's merged over 3 columns. So in our second cell, we go col span is equal to 3. But now because we've got col span is equal to 3, this column here actually takes the place of three columns. So this one column is 3 columns. This column is 2 on 2 rows. This column is in this cell is in 3 columns. So in total, that's 1, 2, 3, 4 columns, like we wanted. Sorry, excuse me. The next area, you got to realize, because this cell here spans over to the second row, there's already one column that's already there. So first column is merged from top row. So this column is merged down, so it's overridden into here. So we already have one column. In this case, this is our first. I don't know if it's worth me commenting this, but why not just make sure. So this is a cell in first column, and this would be if that helps make sense to where it's spanning to. So now in this case, we actually only need 3 other TDs. So we now have in total 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have 4 columns here. Table data. You actually do have a second one, which is also called, so this is the second column. Funny enough, there is also another option which you could do, which is TH. And TH just means table heading. So for example, these ones up here could potentially be table headings, or at least this one. And TH just makes sure that the context of it identifies it as being a heading. Personally, I don't use TH that often, but you can. Okay, so now row 3, if we now take a look at our third row is a little bit more complicated if we go to Excel. You'll see there that on our third row we have one cell, then our second cell spans over 3 columns and 2 rows. So if we go back here, so our first TD is just a normal TD, there's nothing fancy about it. And our second TD though, this one has a bit more fancy. Its col span is 3, and it also has a row span of 2. Okay, so now sorry, excuse me. And then our fourth row, so this is basically first column, this is second column to fourth column. And then the same thing here, we're then going to go and all we actually need in this bottom row is literally 1 TD. The reason why is because second to fourth columns come from row above, because there's a row span of 2. Now once we've done that, let's just check what we've got, and you'll notice that so let's open up our web page. So we go, once you've coded the structure, you go back to your document, you open it up in your web browser, and you'll see that the structure is correct. The heights and things are incorrect, and that'll be the next phase, but you can check the structure of this table is the way I wanted it to the Excel spreadsheet. I'm going to pause, let you guys catch up, and then we'll continue again. Okay, the bell has gone, so we're going to make this the first section of this video. So what we've learned so far is just the basic HTML structure, linking to a style sheet, and how to set up a table to create a structure. We'll work with the heights, the columns, and how to actually get the styles and for it to look like we want. At the moment, they're just the standard size. Thank you. Bye.